Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 8, and this is going to be my review for Episode 4 for this season, otherwise entitled Present Tense. But of course, throughout the video, there's going to be spoilers, so if you've not watched the episode, go watch it, then come back to this video later on, because, well, I don't want to spoil the episode for you, and at least towards the end, there's a big thing that goes down, so yeah. So just firstly, there's no episode next week for Arrow, so we have a week's break, unfortunately. So we'll pick up with episode 5, which is set in Russia. I think it's called Proknost or something like that, or Proshnost, however you want to pronounce it, in 2 weeks' time. So a bit of a break, or a bit of a wait, might I say. Not the best, but, you know, it happens. But last episode was obviously like the return to Nanda Parbat and the whole League of Assassins thing, where we saw Thea come back, and assumably, or presumably, might I say, we saw the last interaction between Oliver and Thea in regards to present day, which was a pretty tough moment to watch, pretty sad, definitely tugged on the heartstrings a bit and made you tear up. Those man tears, they came out, so a bit of a tough watch, but another solid episode for Arrow. Had 3 out of 3 in regards to really good episodes, and they did tease the whole anti-monitor in the League of Assassins, like, records, I guess you could say, or archives, and yeah, but pretty much we saw right at the end of the episode, as Zoe in the future dies, we see Mia, William, and Connor Hawke in the future get a flashback to 2019, where they're confronted by Renee, Dinah, Diggle, and Oliver in, well, the present day, 2019. And that's exactly where we pick up in this episode. But firstly, before we jump into the events of this episode, I want to make this clear, because I just want to be blunt with you guys. Because, you know, I think my Arrow audience is, I guess, more loyal to the show, if that makes sense. I'm not disregarding the Flash audience, but I think people that love Arrow, and that watch Arrow love Arrow. They don't just watch it for the sake of it. Obviously, you guys know I loved the first 3 episodes of this season. This episode, I wasn't the biggest fan. Did I hate it? No. But I just want to be blunt with you guys that I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode, just so you don't go through the episode and you might hear me, like, point stuff out I didn't like. It's like, oh my god, Paige is being mad negative about this episode. I was just disappointed with it in a couple of areas. Some more obvious and more blatant than others, but I just wanted to make it clear at the beginning of the video that I wasn't the biggest fan of it. So just so you guys are on board with me and you're on the same playing field. So let's go through the episode now. So yeah, as I said, you know, last episode we ended off with the 2040 crew, if we're calling it that, or the future Team Arrow, coming back and getting zapped back here by the Monitor, even though it wasn't clearly made clear, you know, early on at least, that it was him. But, you know, they get zapped back here to 2019. Now, William, of course, is happy to see Oliver, which would make complete sense. Like, I think him and Oliver definitely had the best relationship out of any of them. You know, the people that came back, just in regards to, like, mingling with a present day team member. So seeing William interact with Oliver again was good, because if you've watched my videos, I think a lot of people feel the same way, is that the present day William, you know, the younger William, just wasn't the best character. You just didn't feel the relationship there with Oliver, and it was just a bit of an awkward one to watch. I don't think anyone necessarily liked it too much. But seeing this William interact with this Oliver was really nice. I really did like their relationship. But obviously Mia is not so much on board. Mia, in my opinion, was once again written in a very stubborn and obnoxious way. And I know that's what they're going for. You don't have to tell me they're trying to make it Oliver, but they shouldn't. She never grew up with Oliver. You don't just inherit stubbornness through a gene. You would inherit it by being around that person, and she was never around Oliver, so it makes no sense that she'd be so stubborn like Oliver, if that makes sense. Now, the good thing that they do with Mia, even though Mia wasn't that good in this episode, if not good at all, right at the end, they light a flame. They light a spark where you're like, oh, hold on, Mia might have just changed then. They might be slowly changing that character in episodes, so I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to that, because there was just a spark there right at the end where I'm like, she's going to start acting normal and stop acting like this weird Oliver clone, which makes no sense because she was never around Oliver to grow up at the beginning when she was growing up, so why would she mimic his attitude? So that's good, and I'm excited to see where that goes, because it hopefully will just sway opinions, including my own. Now, one of the best scenes in the episode, if not probably the best in regards to a character interaction, was the coming out scene of William to Oliver. Great scene. Obviously, Oliver and Felicity already knew that, but it was just great to see Oliver would pretty much trust his dad now. And I guess it's more William making up for lost time, if that makes sense. So I thought it was a really nice scene between those two. William, I think it's Ben Lewis. I think it's Ben Lewis. I know his first name is Ben. I think it's Ben Lewis, though, who plays William. Easily the strongest actor out of this future Team Arrow group, and he just proved in this episode. I don't know if he's in this spin-off that's going forward. I don't know, because they sort of did set up some stuff, especially when he was interacting with, well, spoiler alert, Curtis returns in this episode with a goddamn beard. But I don't know if they were sort of like setting him up, him almost being like the Felicity type for the Green Arrow and the Canary show. I'm not too sure if he's in it. I think Connor Hawke's in at least the backdoor pilot, so I assume William is as well. But if he's in that spin-off, I wouldn't mind it, because I think he's actually a solid character, and Ben Lewis is a pretty good actor, and at least does a really good job with William and what they want to do with him. So I wouldn't mind it if he's there. It just matters if they want to keep too many of these future characters back in present day. That's probably the biggest issue there. And we get that bomb in the dude's body, which is pretty crazy. It was almost like Dark Knight almost, with like the mobile phone, like the bomb inside the prison cell. It's very Dark Knight-ish. But a Deathstroke and a Deathstroke sort of gang is back in town. Now, it's not Slade Wilson. It's not Joe Wilson or Kane Wolfman. It's Grant Wilson. Now, we find out that he trains JJ in the future. So he is like the original Deathstroke gang leader, and then JJ takes over. But this doesn't make sense to me, because this is present day Grant Wilson. This isn't a Grant Wilson that came back when Mia, William, and Connor came back. This is present day Grant, and he looks like he's goddamn 35 or something in this episode. But in Arrowverse's timeline, he should be like maximum 15 years old. I think he should actually be like around 13 or 14 years old. So the timeline for Grant Wilson is that he was born when Slade Wilson got lost on Lianu, or got stuck on Lianu, which was about, like 14, 15 years ago or something roughly. So I'm not too sure what happened there. It literally doesn't make sense. I know it's just a retcon, but he'd be older than Joe Wilson as well. So I'm not too sure what happened there, to be completely honest. But it was just one thing I caught. I thought they were going to make it that he was the one that came back, but he's just in present day. So that just didn't make sense to me, but yeah. Now, I think the 2040 crew holding out on the future information from the present day people was always going to snowball. It's either going to be one thing where they didn't reveal anything, or if they revealed some things, they were going to have to reveal everything. So it was either they kept their lips shut, didn't say anything, or if they let a couple of things out, then everything was going to come out. And that's exactly what happened. So we got a decent scene between Diggle and Renee about the whole thing that Diggle's son killed his daughter, which was pretty insane in the future. And also, I think Connor and Diggle, so Connor Hawke and Diggle had some decent scenes. Not as strong as the William and Oliver scenes. I think it's just too hard to combat those William and Oliver scenes. I think it's just more of an emotional connection there. But it is just going to be interesting to see what happens here with Diggle and Connor going forward, because it's important to remember, it's made clear, and we know from watching the show, Diggle hasn't adopted Connor yet. What the events that lead to Diggle adopting Connor haven't happened yet and haven't played out yet. So I wonder if Connor might intervene there maybe, and try and make it that maybe he doesn't get intertwined with the Diggle family, which then leads to JJ being neglected by his dad, which then leads JJ down the bad path. So maybe he might try and stop his mum from something happening to his mum, or just him getting adopted in general. So that could be a potential interesting storyline in the coming episodes. Now, overall, I think this episode had issues because it seemed like it was a backdoor pilot to a backdoor pilot. So this is like setting up that episode 9, Green Arrow and the Canary's backdoor pilot thing. It just felt like they were going with that. This episode just felt bogged down. That's probably the best word to use. I think or the best term. It just felt bogged down. They're just trying to plant a lot of seeds and stuff like that. It just didn't feel as good as the other episodes. But as I said earlier on, is it a terrible episode? Is it a bad episode? No, it's just a disappointing one. Now, as I said, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt in regards to mainly Mia, but also just the future Team Arrow melding with this present Team Arrow in the next couple of episodes, just once they leave Star City. Because when I was watching this episode, I could understand why, in theory, merging the future and past, or future and present day, I guess, Team Arrows works. It works in theory, but in practice, it doesn't really work that amazingly. Like, as I said, it just comes back to feeling like the episode was bogged down just by too much, almost like emotional stuff going on when it didn't really need to be there in a lot of scenes. But, as I said, give it the benefit of the doubt. It didn't work in this episode, but it might work in different areas and different scenarios, which, as I said, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Did I just have a testy pop? I'm not too sure. Now, Curtis gives Oliver the information about the antimatter replication. That was pretty much Curtis's role in this episode. He sort of teamed up with William for a bit there, but a lot of it was just the antimatter replication and using it as like a weapon to go against the Anti-Monitor. Or not the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor. This is going to lead them to Russia next episode, the Prognost episode. So that's for us to, revisit then. But obviously the episode does end with Monitor appearing for Laurel. And I was like, okay, at first, I don't know if anyone thought this as well, but at first I thought, is he going to erase her from existence because she's from Earth-2 and everyone else there is gone? So is he going to go, hey, you shouldn't exist. Poof, you're gone. I thought he was going to do that for a second. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that, Monitor. But he says to her that he'll bring back Earth-2 if she betrays Oliver. Now, obviously, that's a very grey area, betraying. Betraying could be she stabs Oliver in the head and goes, oh, you're dead. Or she could steal Oliver's lunch. That's betrayal. Hey, you betrayed me. You took my lunch. My favourite sandwich. There's a grey area there for betrayal. So I'm interested to see where that goes. There could be little things of betrayal or it could be big things. So I'm sure the Monitor will tell her probably exactly what to do or at least give her a big hint. But could the Monitor bring back an entire Earth? I don't know. It seems like a tall order. But hey, if he brings back Earth-2, we get Harry and Jesse back. So we can take back those Fs in the chat and put some yays in the chat. Anyway, whatever that might be. But yeah, guys, as I said, overall, I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode. I thought there was elements that just really didn't work, and I felt like they were just trying to set things up for a future episode, that being episode 9, just trying to plant the seeds for that, and it just sort of took away from this episode. But there were elements I liked. As I said, the William and Oliver scene I thought was great. It's arguably one of the best scenes in the entire season, and that's saying something. And I think when we get to the end of this final season, I think it'll still stand there, maybe in the top 10. So that's saying something. So it's a really good scene. There's other little elements as well, like the Connor and Diggle stuff, which I thought was good. And Mia does there's a spark at the end when it's Oliver, Mia, and William in the apartment, and I think he makes grilled cheese. I know it's little, but it just seemed like a spark when Mia just tapped out of that just annoying character. So hopefully we see her progress and then just write the character better and basically write Mia as a different character. But that's for us to wait and see. 2-week break. It sucks that we have to wait and to see if that all works out then. But yeah, hopefully it does work out then. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As I said, it wasn't the most glowing episode review, but I just wanted to be completely honest. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. But if you enjoyed my video, or if you enjoyed the episode, just want to drop a like on it, show support, we'd be greatly appreciated. Let me know your opinions in the comments section down below. What you think of the episode, what was your favorite part, what issues did you have, let me know all of them in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.